Hello, my name is Cassandra Struble. Welcome to today's practice. For today's practice, we will need a mat and our blocks. We're going to begin today's class by starting out on our backs. As we come down onto our mats, just feeling that connection. Let's take a couple breaths through our nose and out our nose. Trying to lengthen. Trying to slow down our breath. Let's go ahead and place our hands on our upper chest just so we can notice. Beginning to extend, open and lift. And as we exhale, just feeling that connection with our mat. Allowing for our elbows to nice, relax. Allowing for our rib cage to feel nice and full and opening. On our next exhale, let's take our hands down to that middle belly here. Again, relaxing our elbows, taking the time to close our eyes and bring our breath in with our belly. Letting go of competition. Letting go of our expectations. Letting go of our judgments. Being present on our mat. And as we exhale, let's take our hands down to that lower belly. Just begin breathing. Maybe noticing or feeling our hands in our lower belly as we're breathing. Seeing that shift in our breath, but making that mind-body connection this morning. Maybe setting the intention to listen to our bodies. To pull back where we need to take breaths where we need to. Now let's go ahead and bring that right knee into our chest, and we're going to take that left leg long as we take our knee into our chest. Let's go ahead and move around in our ankles and our toes. Let's go ahead and straighten that leg out. We're going to point and flex with that toe. Let's do it nice and slow, just so we can begin to open up the back of that leg. Taking our time. And then let's go ahead and release that leg back down onto the mat, straightening through our toe. Bring that left knee into our chest, lengthening through that hip. And moving around in our ankles and toes. Let's go ahead and straighten that leg out. Pointing and flexing that toe. Nice and slow. Really trying to lengthen the back of that knee as we're pointing that toe. Maybe hitting that point where it's really tight and then releasing it. Now let's go ahead and allow that knee to come down to the ground, and then we're going to switch legs. So just doing a little bit of a flow here, bringing one knee and releasing it, inhaling the other, exhaling. Creating that nice little flow here, warming up our bodies. Coming around. Let's go ahead and walk our feet into our constructive rest pose. So feet are going to be flat on the mat. We're going to inhale those hands up overhead. Once we get our hands up there, we're going to kind of settle them. We're going to lift our head and just lengthen all the way through the crown. So we should be able to feel this stretch from the top of our shoulders all the way down to our lower bellies. And we're going to just begin to rock our hips side to side here, creating a nice flow. So whatever speed we would like to move is fine. Taking our time. Moving ever so slowly side to side here. Now let's go ahead and slow down, even slower, that rocking. Really thinking as we are moving here, keeping our mind focused on that speed. Noticing any difference in our stretching as opposed to when we're just mindlessly rocking our legs. Lengthening down all the way from our bellies down to our hips. Now let's slow it down even more. Really, maybe our motions aren't as big because we're slowing it down. Really working that outer and inner hip, making it think here. And slowly, let's bring our knees back to center. Might still feel a little bit of movement there. We're going to go ahead and slide the bottoms of our feet together for our reclined butterfly, dropping our knees open, keeping our hands extended overhead. We can also place our blocks underneath our knees if we would like to take a little less stretch out of that groin. Just lifting and lengthening with our fingers. As we are ready on our next inhale, let's go ahead and bring our knees into our chest. And we're going to come in a little bit of a side-to-side motion here. Let's go ahead and take our knees in a little circle either direction, but just picking how we're inhaling and exhaling. So again, to making today's flow about what we need continually just to move our bodies. Switching directions with those circles. Go ahead and bring those knees back to center. We're going to drop them down either to the left or to the right. Once we drop our knees down, let's go ahead and bring our hands up to shoulder height. Taking a nice big sigh. Stretch all the way through that back. We can choose to keep that both legs bent, or we can extend through that top leg, bringing that heel over top, stretching, pointing our toe back towards our knee. If our knees extended, let's go ahead and place it back over the other one, bringing our knees back to center, dropping them down to the other side, stretching and shifting directions with our view. We can go ahead and extend that top leg if we would like, pointing that toe back towards our knee. Or we can keep our knees stacked, whichever we feel today. If our legs extended, let's bring it back over our other one, slowly bringing our knees back into our chest. Let's go ahead, using a little bit of momentum or coming to the side. Let's come up slowly, coming onto all fours. As we come into all fours, let's bring that cat-cow breath in. So slowing down our breath, thinking it through as we inhale, dropping that belly. As we exhale, expanding through that back. Creating that flow. We can close our eyes in our cat-cow. We can pause at the point of either our end of our exhale or our inhale. go ahead and add those hips in. So as we shift to our cat, let's shift our hips to one side. As we exhale, shifting to the other. Just creating that barrel roll. Let's go ahead and come back to center and switch directions with those hips. And then as we come back to center, let's go ahead and get some sunburns in here. Start waking up our lower belly. We're going to inhale that knee into our chest, keeping our knee bent, swinging up through, foot is flat. Creating that sunburn motion. Getting that movement through our hip. Let's come back down on to all fours and switch sides. Do a couple more here. As we come down to all four, let's come into our side plank. So keeping our right knee down, our right hand out. We're going to extend that left leg nice and long. Open up our chest into our side angle. Now let's lift those fingers up towards the sky and see if we can engage that side muscle just a little bit more by reaching. Tightening that side muscle if we can, pressing with that foot. Now let's go ahead and we're going to come into our gate. So we're going to drop that left hand down on our leg. We're going to tighten that side coming up to the center. Ever so slowly and lifting our hand up. So we're using that side muscle as we come up. We can bring that hand up, shifting up into our gate. This is using a lot of side muscle. You're going to wobble when you first come up. Perfect. It's a hard one. All right. Now let's flow with that gate. Using our side muscle here. Now let's come back into that side plank again. Stretch with our fingers. Exhaling onto all fours. And let's switch our sides. Keeping that left knee down, right leg is extended, foot is digging into the mat. We're reaching with those fingertips, tightening that side muscle. Now let's come into our gate. So dropping that right hand down, inhaling on that left side, bringing that left hand up into the air. And then exhaling down into that side plank. So taking our time, using those side muscles to crunch up in our gate. Exhaling down into our side plank. And as we come back down, let's come back into our side plank one more time. Stretching through our fingertips here. And then slowly exhaling onto all four. Let's go ahead and come into our child's pose. So taking maybe our knees out as wide as our mat, sinking our hips back, allowing our bottom to come back to our toes. We can either extend our hands out, we can stack our fists for wrists, we can use a block, or we can just stack one wrist on top of the other, allowing for our forehead to relax here. Now as we come into our child's pose, let's focus on that breath. So inhaling through our nose and sighing out of our mouth here for a few breath cycles. Feeling our body shift as we exhale. Now slowly, let's go ahead and bring those knees underneath us. We're going to come up into a plank of our choice. We're going to do some push-ups here to get our bodies moving. So I'm going to start with my kneeling plank. Coming into our perfect plank position, we're going to lower as far as our body can do it, and then we're going to use those triceps to push us back. Take us into our child's pose. So inhaling into a plank of our choice, coming down as far as our triceps can get us out. We don't want to be digging into our shoulders. So if we're coming down in that push-up, we're starting to notice. We want to keep our elbows tight to our body, using the back of our arms to facilitate our push-up here. Let's go ahead on that next one. We're going to lower all the way down to the mat. Once we get down to the mat, we're going to flow a couple times with our cobra. So just inhale, looking up, opening that chest. Exhale, lowering down to the mat. Inhaling, opening up that chest. Exhaling down. So just moving with our cobra here. And bringing our hands underneath our shoulders or coming onto our forearms. Let's slowly begin to walk ourselves back into our extended child's pose. Let's take some breaths here in that extended child's pose. Couple more breaths here. On our next inhale, let's do a couple more push-ups. So again, we're not coming all the way down to the ground with our push-ups. We're maybe just coming a little bit of the way, using those triceps to help bring us in and out. Maybe we're only going down a little bit today. That's fine. Just listening to our bodies. Keeping those elbows tight. All of the work is being done in the back of our arms. And then on our next push-up, let's go ahead and take ourselves all the way slowly down to the ground, controlling, using each and every second to do it nice and slow. Once we come onto our bellies, let's go ahead and do a couple flowing cobras here. So just inhaling, opening up, exhaling, lowering down. And then on our next exhale, let's bring our hands underneath our armpits, taking a nice full inhale. Let's come back into our extended child's pose. Yeah, we can take our knees out wide if we'd like to here. And as we sink back into that child's pose, just giving ourselves a little room to breathe and let that bottom sink back. Now if our knees are wide in our child's pose, let's go ahead and bring those knees underneath us, sinking that bottom back. We're going to switch back between our child's pose and our down dog, taking our time as we are doing this. Let's think about a couple things. As we're in our child's pose, our knees are together. When we lower our bellies down onto our thighs, we're going to extend those hands out. Seeing how far our hands extend, let's push on the bottom of our padded wrist. Maybe where we feel that pad, that's where we're going to press away in our down dog. So placing our hands on the mat, fingers are wide, we're going to begin to breathe. Inhaling, turning those toes as we inhale, pressing us back into that down dog. Now, as we exhale, we're going to come up on our toes, which is going to help to lower those knees. Again, our hands are just here for stability. We're going to bring that bottom back into our extended child's pose. So as we're flowing between that down dog and our child's pose, taking our time, going nice and slow, feeling our muscles here as we work. Thinking about our form. Thinking about how we flow as opposed to just flowing. Again, using that breath to really transition. Taking our time as we shift. Our next time, let's come up into our down dog. We're going to meet there. So bringing those feet up, bottom is coming back, pressing all of our weight like we're going to try to sit on that wall behind us. Let's bend our knees and straighten them here so we can feel that weight shift into our hips. We don't need to bend our knees a whole lot, just enough so we can feel that weight coming back. And then we're going to slowly walk our hands and our feet together, taking our hands off the mat as we need to, coming into our forward fold. Now here in our forward fold, we're going to do a couple forward folds into some chair flows. So from our forward fold, let's inhale, sweeping our hands out to the side, reaching for the ceiling. Exhaling our hands into our heart. Swinging out, exploding out of our chair, bringing our hands to our side, back to our forward fold. Inhaling, hands up. Exhaling, hands to the center, to our chair. So we're just moving between our chair and our forward fold. Really working on using that hand extension coming up to bring us up and lift us. Using that exhale to allow our bellies to sink us down. Flow between our chair and our forward fold. On our next way around, let's go ahead and come in and meet in our chair. Now, as we come into that chair, let's think about a couple things here. Where are our feet? Are we comfortable? Are our toes straight? Where are our knees? Our knees should be not over our toes. Bottom is coming back. Heightening those thighs up towards our bottom. Now let's go ahead and inhale, coming out of our chair. We're going to go into that twisted chair. So that right elbow is going to twist to that left knee. And we're going to look over that shoulder. Inhaling back to center, let's switch sides. So other elbows coming towards that other way, looking over that shoulder. Inhaling back to center, sinking in that chair one more time. Now here in our chair, let's take our hands just to shoulder height. So reaching out in front of that chair like we're holding a ball. Now let's just turn our ball left and right here in our chair. Keeping our knees in line with our toes, keeping that bottom back. And then as we exhale, coming up into our mountain. Here in our mountain, let's go ahead and find those mountain feet. So let's lock our feet in. We want to make sure that they're underneath our hips. We're going to take that big toe in just a little bit. Let's do a couple shoulder rolls here. Let's start out little small shoulder rolls. Here in our small shoulder rolls, let's think about that breath. We can close our eyes. Just think about matching that slow movement with our breath. Let's go ahead and switch directions, small little circles here. Let's go ahead and switch directions and make some bigger circles. So maybe we're starting to feel that rotation in our shoulder blades. We're starting to feel our chest opening up, our shoulders dropping down and back. And let's go ahead and switch directions. So keeping that movement as big as we were. We can still go slow. It doesn't mean we need to speed up because we go bigger. Working through that tension in our back. Now let's switch directions and make big circles, as big as we can make. Maybe we want to get our arms involved, maybe we don't. Just feel where we need to let go, release that tension. And let's switch directions. We can feel our shoulder blades crunching up as we're coming around. Maybe we don't feel anything at all. However, we're listening to our bodies here in this moment. And then coming back to center. Let's go ahead and take our ear towards either shoulder. Nice, couple breaths here. And then inhaling back to center and exhaling that neck down to the other side. Now let's just take our head in the front here, rolling ear to ear, but staying in the front. We're taking our time now, let's slow down that turn to the left and to the right. So feeling each muscle in our neck as we're coming around. And slowly coming back to center. Let's go ahead and inhale, opening up those shoulders. We're going to bring our hands up to shoulder height. We're going to make stop signs with those hands. And we're going to rotate our shoulders in little circles here. Now, as we're doing this, let's bring our breath into it to bring some energy in. So we're going to do 3 quick breaths in. So 3 sniffs and a sigh. Getting that blood flowing in our bodies. Switching directions with our hands, keeping that breath going. Now let's go ahead and drop our hands down to our side, and we're going to reach in both directions with our hands. So it's going to pull our shoulders away from our ears. Open up that chest as wide as we can here. Now let's go ahead and relax, and we're going to bring that rocking motion out. So we can take our feet wider if we want. We're just going to swing our hands around, allowing them to hit us, moving through that back. Maybe we have somewhere that's stiff and we want to punch it. We can do that. Maybe we just want to feel our hands just gently slap. Just allowing for our hands to hit. Just swing, not trying to control anything here. And we're going to slowly come back to center. All right. So coming back to center, let's go ahead and take our feet out as wide as we are comfortable. We're going to turn our toes out. We're going to do a couple sunflowers here. So we're going to sweep our hands up towards the sky. And as we exhale, we're going to kind of forward fold, dropping down, picking up our flowers and throwing them up in the air. And we're doing our sunflowers. Maybe if that's a little bit of intensity, remember we can always do a little bit of a squat. However, if we want to have fun, let's do that full sunflower. And then coming back up, let's come into our 5-pointed star, reaching in both directions. Seeing if we can reach even further. And exhale, relax. Let's grab, let's go up to the top of our mat. If we want to grab a drink of water, now's a good time. Otherwise, let's come up to the top of our mat. And as we come up to the top of our mat, let's go ahead and inhale, hands up to the sky. We're going to exhale, forward fold, hinging at our hips. So coming into our forward fold, let's rest our hands on our shins or our feet or our knees. Now keeping our hands on our shin, let's go ahead and look up for that monkey. Now as we exhale, let's come back to our forward fold. We're going to take our right foot and just step our right foot back in our forward fold. So we're still in our forward fold here. Our front leg is straight. So we're in now our pyramid pose. That foot in the back can face sideways. It's however comfortable we are. And as we inhale, let's bring a bend to that front knee. And now we can walk our hands up our front leg, or we can use that breath. We're going to come into our warrior one. Nice. Opening up our chest here. Let's reach our fingers as far as we can in both directions. Feeling our feet connected to the mat, feeling that bend with that front knee, extending our fingers out as far as we can. Now let's take our hands up to the ceiling overhead, keeping that bend in that front knee. Now let's go ahead and exhale, straightening out that front leg. We're going to swan dive back to our pyramid, so our hands can come anywhere they want as we bring our bellies down towards that thigh. Our front leg is stretched, our back leg is there for support. We can always adjust here in our pyramid. Now let's go ahead on our next inhale and bring that right foot back up to the top of our mat to meet our left. So we're back to our forward fold. Let's go ahead and inhale those hands out around us, coming up, reaching for the sky, and then exhaling into that chair. Nice. Now from our chair here, let's explode out of our chair again, bringing our arms around us, coming back to our forward fold. Hands are going to fall wherever they lay. On our next inhale, let's bring them onto our shin. Just go ahead looking up for that monkey. So lengthening the back of our legs. As we exhale, let's come back to that forward fold. We're going to step our left foot back, keeping that front leg straight for our pyramid. Just stretching out the back of that right leg, keeping that right leg straight. We can bring our left foot wherever we need to for distance and balance. Now on our next inhale, let's bring a bend to that knee, taking a nice full exhale before we inhale, sweeping our hands up, coming into our warrior one. Nice. Let's go ahead and open up that chest again, reaching our fingers wide. Feeling our feet connected with our mat. Feeling our chest opening as we expand through our fingers. Let's go ahead and inhale our hands up, reaching for the sky. And as we exhale, straightening out that front leg, bringing our belly down towards that thigh, walking our hands down our leg till we find a place that's comfortable coming back to that pyramid. As that front leg is outstretched, let's go ahead and shake our head yes and no. Really trying to lengthen through our front leg here. On our next inhale, let's go ahead and step that left foot back up to meet our right. Coming back to our forward fold, let's swing our hips here just a little bit, left and right. And let's let that head shake. And then coming back to center with our head. Let's go ahead and taking our hands on the outside of our bodies. Inhale, reaching up for the sky. Exhaling our hands to heart center. Nice, guys. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to come wide on our mat. We're going to do actually, let's do our balance right now before I go any further. All right, let's do our eagle today. Let's do our eagle, and we're going to focus on the separate parts of our eagle. So we all know there's eagle hands, and we all know there's eagle feet. We're going to do each separately today. So I'm going to step up a little bit closer so that you guys can see me. And we're going to work first on our eagle hands. So let's take our feet hip width apart, okay? Where we're comfortable, and we can come back and squat. Make sure that we can come back in a squat. All right, so with our eagle hands, let's go ahead and sweep our right hand up, settling it in front of our face. Then we're going to take that left hand underneath. So just sliding that hand, and then you might be able to slide your hands together. Some people can easily get their hands together here in our eagle hands. So let's go ahead and just press them together so we can feel a little bit of our shoulders coming in. And now let's sit back into that squat. Keeping our hands where they are. Now let's flow. We're going to fly. So we're just going to come up a little bit with those hands, and then we're going to sink back down. Ever so slowly, using that balance just so that we're flowing centered. Now let's go ahead and slowly come up and shake that out. We're going to switch hands. So we are going to swing that left hand or right hand up, other hand, just do other hand. And then we're going to swing our other hand underneath, of that. And then we're going to work on bringing those hands together, crunching and curling our shoulders in. Now let's squat down and sit. Now let's flow a little bit here, just lifting and lowering in that squat. Keeping those hands together and focused, moving nice and slow, feeling that balance. And let's lower back down into it one more time. And then slowly exhaling, releasing ourselves. Shaking out our eagle hands. We're going to do our eagle feet. So I'm going to step back a little bit further so you can see my feet. So first we're going to start with our feet hip width apart in our mountain feet, making sure that one foot we can press our weight on. So with our one foot, let's choose the foot. We're going to begin to press our weight in and bring our other foot across that ankle. So just crossing our legs here. Now as we cross our legs, let's place our hands on our hips. And we're going to exhale, slowly bending our bottoms back like we're sitting. Keeping those legs crossed. Now let's see if we can slowly bring our hands in front of our chest with our prayer hands. Keeping our foot locked, keeping our balance here. Now let's just fly a little bit here. So lifting up out of our thighs and lowering down. We can crush our thighs together to help lift and lower. Lowering back down one more time. Trying to lengthen through our spine. And let's go ahead and exhale slowly and release that leg nice and slow. Shake off our feet. All right, coming back to our mountain feet. We're going to switch sides. Settling in with that foot. We're going to slowly bring all of our weight onto that one foot, lifting our other foot, crossing it over. Finding that balance, bringing our knees and thighs together, and slowly lowering down. Bring our hands in prayer position, or we can come up with our eagle hands, whichever we would prefer. Let's flow here. So just tightening those thighs together, lifting, exhaling, lowering down, trying to keep that balance. One more time, let's go ahead and settle in. Keeping our foot to the ground, let's go ahead and exhale, slowly lifting ourselves up. Slowly as we can, releasing. Let's go ahead and shake that out. We're gonna come up to the top of our mat and work our way down before we do our meditation. So let's inhale our hands up to the sky, reaching. As we exhale, let's hinge our hips forward, fold. And we're gonna slowly walk our feet ever so slowly back into our down dog, taking our time. As we come into our down dog, let's walk our dogs here, one heel and then the other. Really feeling that weight in the back of our heels, feeling that weight in our bottom. And let's slowly lower our knees down and come on to our bottom. So as we come onto our bottom, we're going to come into a comfortable, easy seated posture. We can use a cushion underneath us if we would like to support our hips. As we come into our easy seated posture, let's go ahead and extend that right hand up towards the sky, reaching as far as we can with our fingertips. And then exhale, slowly lowering that down and switching sides. Exhale, lowering both hands down. We're going to do our seated cat-cow. So seated cat-cow, hands are on our knees. It's a little bit more you got to think. So you got to inhale, opening up that rib cage. And as we exhale, rounding that back. It might not be a big motion like we're used to with our cat-cow. However, we're just going to work on caving that back, inhaling that chest forward, exhaling that back. back. And then as we come into that next one, let's go ahead and bring our hands behind our back, interlacing our fingers, and we're just going to open up that chest here in our seated posture. Exhale, releasing our hands. Let's take our right hand across our chest, and we're going to bring our left arm underneath. So we're making basically a T with our hands. And we're just going to stretch through that shoulder, that top of our shoulder here. And then exhale, release. Let's switch arms. So taking that left arm across our body, hugging it with that right hand, stretching that shoulder. Exhale, release. Let's extend our left leg out. We're going to bring our right leg across. Looks like we're crossing our legs here. One leg stretch, extended, one leg just coming across. And then we're going to take our left hand onto that right knee, and we're just going to twist around back behind us. So just a gentle side twist here. Opening up our chest, looking over our shoulder. Exhaling back to center and switching sides. Extending that right leg out, bringing that left foot over, taking our right hand onto that left knee, walking our right hand slowly back to look over that shoulder. Let's go ahead and slowly come back to center. We're going to bring the bottoms of our feet together in for our recline, or in for our butterfly here. And let's go ahead and try to raise our head as high as we can into the sky in our butterfly. Our hands can touch our legs, they can rest on our knees, wherever we would like. Let's think about really straightening out that spine. As we are ready, let's go ahead and lower down onto our backs. We're going to do a couple more stretches here before our meditation. Now, as we lower onto our backs, let's go ahead and bring those knees back into our chest. Let's find any position we would like and move around in that knees to chest. Maybe we want to go to circle, maybe we want to go to a little figure eight here. Listening. You can also come in, we're going to reach for our happy baby. So releasing from behind our knees, inhaling up between our legs, reaching for our heels, our toes, our ankles, or our pants. Falling back, letting those knees bend, and moving around in our happy baby. Let's go ahead and slowly release our feet back to the mat, coming into our constructive rest pose here. We're going to bring our hands down to our hips, and we're going to do a flowing bridge. So if we need to walk our heels back towards our bottom, we can. We're just going to lift and lower our hips. So finding that place with our bridge. Lifting and lowering, using our bottom and our quads, tightening as we move through that flowing bridge. Pressing our heels and hands into the mat to help assist. And let's go ahead and lower our hips all the way down. And we're just going to do a pelvic tilt here. So we're going to tilt our hips up. And we're going to tilt our hips back, keeping them on the ground. Hips up, hips down. Pressing through that tilt. And let's just go ahead and drop our knees together, just side to side. We can place our hands either. We're just going to rock them side to side. So our knees are together. We're just going to twist side to side with our knees together. Our feet can be together too. Just twisting through that trunk of our body. And let's go ahead and take that right heel onto our left knee. We can stay here for our pigeon, or we can go ahead and inhale, reaching for that left leg, bringing it into our chest, opening up that knee a little deeper. Either way we choose, let's bring that toe back towards our kneecap. Let's go ahead and slowly untangle us. So if our knee is into our chest, lowering that leg down, slowly switching feet here. So bringing our other foot onto the mat. Left heel is going to come up onto the right knee. Left toe is going to come back towards that knee. And we can stay here, or we can reach in between, grabbing that thigh, bringing it closer to us. Nice breath to finish out. Our next exhale, let's go ahead and slowly begin lowering that leg down towards the earth. Then we're going to straighten out our feet all the way and our hands overhead all the way in for our extended mountain here. Let's just try to extend and take some breaths here, really trying to bring that energy and that oxygen into our bodies. And let's go ahead and prepare ourselves for our final relaxation. Just allowing ourselves to feel that length. Now we can continue to move here as we come through to our meditation, or we can choose to just stop and find our favorite posture, whatever we feel we would like to do in this moment. And let's just come in with the sound of our breath. So really allowing for our breath to come and go. Taking a moment to kind of feel through our whole body, from our head to our shoulders, to our back, to our hips, to our toes. Just making any further adjustments, allowing ourselves to settle in, settle towards the ground. Allowing anything that happened before our mat today, to let it go, and to just bring our awareness into this final moment. Taking a nice big inhale. And as we exhale, imagine letting go of any thoughts we've been holding on to. We're continuing to inhale and exhale. And each time we exhale, letting go of that thought. Now we could be letting go of the same thought every time, or they could be different thoughts. We're just letting it go so that you can come to a state of just being. Allowing this time for yourself, opposed to your thoughts. This is simply that moment to just enjoy this peace. Resting here serene and effortless. Feeling as if we are aware of every energetic point in our body. And we're just gonna float that awareness around from point to point on our body. And we're gonna start with the awareness being brought to the space between our eyebrows. Just effortlessly becoming aware of that space. Looking at the space, the bottom of our throat, allowing it to relax, allowing for all of our neck to relax around our throat, allowing our right shoulder to relax. Let's float that awareness to our right elbow, our wrist joint, our right thumb, tip of our index finger, tip of our middle finger, tip of our ring finger, tip of our little finger. Effortlessly aware. Now floating and shifting our awareness over to our left shoulder, our left elbow, our left wrist, our left thumb, tip of our index finger, tip of our middle finger, tip of our ring finger, tip of our little finger, and then just shifting freely back to the center of our throat. Again, relaxing everything in our neck. Relaxing everything in our neck all the way down to our heart center. Relaxing the right side of our chest. Relaxing the left side of our chest. Inhaling and exhaling, relaxing our heart center. Inhaling and exhaling, relaxing our heart center. Inhaling and exhaling, relaxing our heart center. Resting our awareness here, not thinking, just feeling, being aware of our body breathing itself, simply witnessing. Now let's bring our awareness to our right nostril, and let's just feel that breath coming and going from our right nostril. See if it changes the way you feel in this moment. Now bringing that awareness to our left nostril. And again, feeling that breath as it inhales through our left nostril, relaxing and calm. Maybe noticing that temperature. Now being aware of our breath through both nostrils and feeling a balance of those two streams of breath coming in, the right and the left, both inciting passion, yet a relaxing calm. Let's notice that intake of breath through our nostrils. Relaxing our face around our nostrils, our cheeks, our eyes, our forehead, our jaw, our tongue. Relaxing our throat right in the center, feeling as if the breath becomes almost more aware and flowing. And beginning to feel that breath between our throat and our heart. Now making that connection between our nostrils and our throat and our heart, just observing our inhale and exhale. Now, while we are here, before we come back to our awareness, let's think about a word or a short phrase during these final moments. Maybe something that we want to manifest in our lives, whether it be clarity, or happiness, or peace. Let's just think about that for a second. Now, whatever word or statement we've come up with, let's repeat it to ourselves 3 times with each exhale. Now, as we're thinking about our focus here, let's keep our mind there as we begin to wiggle our fingers and our toes. We start to feel those electric currents coming out from our heart to our extremities, kind of waking us up here in this moment. Taking a moment to feel that energy coming back in our toes. Feeling that energy coming up to our knees. Maybe we're moving around our ankles. Maybe we're slowly moving our knees around. Maybe shifting our hips and moving our fingers. And then maybe slowly beginning to look right and left. And then slowly beginning to blink our eyes. Slowly begin to come back into this place and into this space. We're going to slowly bring ourselves up into any easy seated posture of our choice. And we can come up to that posture any way we would like. Whether we're going to turn onto our side or slowly move, whatever we choose. And then as we come up into our easy seated posture of our choice, let's go ahead and bring our hands into our heart center. And just allow, for this time, let's just allow our fingertips to touch here. So not our whole hands are touching, just our fingertips. And let's go ahead and take 3 nice breaths together here. On that third exhale, taking a moment just to notice the space that we've created in our heart center tonight through our breath, as well as the space we've created here with our hands. And any time this evening that we feel maybe overwhelmed or just distracted, let's think about what we want to manifest through our meditation and allow ourselves to feel that peace, joy. I think, as always, you becoming peace.